ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். We have been doing the bOdhayantha parasparam program for the last little while. Recently, we have started doing it in English, and today we have Pavan Swami with us. He is going to have a discussion with me on certain important topics. So let's start the discussion. Adiyan Ramanadasan.
Adiyan Ramanadasan. Thank you, Swami, for giving me an opportunity.
Okay.
The first question would be, how can a gruhastha focus on performing various kainkaryams to Sriman Narayana in the current changing world? It is very volatile, and
Yeah.
it is also very, it has taken away all the time. So how can a gruhastha can perform various kainkaryams to Sriman Narayana with utmost sincerity?
Right. See, the gruhasthASrama is meant to engage in kainkaryam in a family mode for our Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam, in the context of our Sampradayam. Even in general, in Sanatana Dharma, gruhasthASrama is meant to support brahmacharis and sannyasis. So it is the grihastha who is allowed to earn money. Neither brahmachari nor sannyasi can earn money. Only grihastha can earn wealth. As such, there was no money back then, but some form of money. And the purpose of earning wealth is to spend it in righteous way, in dharmic way. And that dharmic way is to support brahmacharis and sannyasis mainly. And not only that, also to support the temple locally, the Acharya Mat or Tirumaligai, which is present. So all of these has to be done with the wealth earned. And this wealth should be also earned in dharmic way. It is not that one can earn wealth in any way. One has to understand what is one's varna. And of course, ashrama is grihasthASrama. So according to one's varna, one can engage in certain activities. In those activities, one has to engage, and whatever wealth is accumulated as a result of engaging in those activities must be spent for dharma karyams. And they can support the society through that wealth. So this is one way of engaging in kainkaryam. As a grihastha, one way is to use the rightfully earned money into dharma karyams. In our case, it is kainkaryams. Apart from that, each Vaishnava, each Sri Vaishnava, by nature, he is a servitor to Bhagavan, Bhagavatas, and Acharyas. So in whatever time he gets beyond his rightful money or wealth earning activities, whatever time he gets, he has to prioritize that time for two aspects. One is to do kainkaryam for Bhagavan, Bhagavatas, and Acharyas. And the second aspect is to nurture his family in a very devotional way. So both these responsibilities are there for grihasthas. On one side, he has to engage in kainkaryam. On the other side, he has to develop his family to engage in kainkaryam. Right from childhood, from children, they should be taught by example. So this is the ideal way. Now we have to see in the current scenario. That is the little bit of a difficult part, because we are all Many of us are engaging in activities which are beyond our Varna Dharma, and invariably we are also working beyond our physical capacity. Many people are working 10 hours, 11 hours every day, and this takes a toll on their body. So what happens is they are unable to engage in kainkariams, and they are also unable to take care of their family in a very nice devotional way. So this is one of the biggest problem in our society, in our Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam. But it is not just in our Sampradayam, even in general, all over the world, this is this is one of the biggest problem, that people are not able to um, relax after working, and they are not able to nurture their family goals, because they are getting drained out mentally and physically. So as Sri Vaishnavas, we must set our priorities correct. That is the first thing to do. Our priority should be leading a devotional life, peaceful devotional life. It may not be luxurious. It need not be very grand. It need not be appealing for the society. But that life which we lead should give peace and satisfaction to us. So that should be the initial understanding. When we have that understanding, then we will start working towards that, where we can work only as much as it is required. Even if we are getting little bit less salary, even if we are getting paid a little bit less than others, our peers, our family members, relatives, and so on, friends, and so on, we should not get bogged down. We should be very strong in our mind that we live our life as per our Purvacharya's instructions. Our priority is leading a simple devotional life. For that, unfortunately, we need money today in this current age. We cannot live without money. So everybody needs money. So we have to determine, each individual within his family, within his circumstances, has to determine how much money he needs for a simple, peaceful, devotional life. Because we may work hard, make more money, but it doesn't take a lot to lose our health. It doesn't take a lot to lose our wealth. All of that happens in a flash. We know people who are very hale and healthy, suddenly they get some disease, and suddenly they start struggling. We know people who are wealthy, suddenly they lose their money, their wealth, and now they are suffering. So it doesn't matter how much active we are, how much wealthy we are. At the end of the day, if we are able to lead a simple, devotional, peaceful life, that is what is going to be important for us. So for that, we have to determine that we need this much money. For that much money, we should work. Remaining time, we should engage in Gunanubhava Kainkaryam. In one side, we should accumulate knowledge, constant engagement in listening to lectures, kalakshepams, reading our granthams, Purvacharya granthams. And on the other side, we have to engage in kainkaryams, whatever it may be, even at home. If we are doing Tiruvaradhanam for 1 hour, if we are making some small activities to teach our children, if we are spending some time teaching our neighborhood children, if we are about our sampradaya, if we are going to our nearby temple, spending half an hour, 1 hour there, reciting pasurams, doing whatever little kainkaryam we can do according to our varna, our ashrama, and so on. Whatever kainkaryams we can do, we can take up those kainkaryams. So we have to allocate time for all of these. For this, we can sacrifice our work time. Let's say we are working 10-hour days, we can cut down it to 8-hour days. We can take a stand that I will only work 8 hours. Again, all of these I am talking for people who are in working mode, some job, some company. For those people, I am talking. For those Sri Vaishnavas who are engaged in some office work, we have to take a stand that I will only work for 7 hours, 8 hours. Let that affect my career. Let that affect my promotion. I don't care. As long as I can retain my job, as long as I can get the same amount of money which is required for my family's comfortable living, let me limit my work time to this much. And then the remaining time we have to allocate between some gunanubhavam, some Kainkariam at temple, Kainkariam at Acharya, Mat or Tirumaligai, and then some time for our family, children, teaching children and spending time with children in a very meaningful way and so on. So this is the first thing which has to happen. And then one has to plan for retirement. How soon we can retire. That plan should be there. We cannot work forever until 70 years, 80 years. Some people get that drive to keep working even after 60 years. They say that my office boss, he is forcing me to come and continue even after retirement, as if there is no one in this world other than this person. So these are the false promotion of self, that we are important in the company, we are important in the society for some particular task. So we are having this false ego that we are important in the company. They are requesting, so we have to go and fulfill that requirement for another 5 years, 10 years. Nothing like that. If we don't go to office tomorrow, the office is going to continue probably better than before. So nothing like we are indispensable. Nobody is indispensable. In this world, everybody is dispensable. So we have to say that at least at 45, 50, this is maximum I'm saying, we have to retire so that we can at least focus another 10, 20 years in Kaikariam in a healthy way. Because up to 60, we will be able to run around, do things, lift weight and so on. After that, we will become very much weak. So these are the things. Mainly in the current day, we have to limit our work time, focus our time on learning and doing Kaikariams and engaging with family in a meaningful way. And we have to plan for early retirement, how soon we can retire. For that, we have to ensure that we don't waste money. Whatever money we get, we should only spend it for useful things. Whatever is necessity, we can spend. But luxury, we have to really think about getting those things. So if we spend carefully, if we save sufficient money, then we are saving time for Kaikariam. If we spend money now, then we have to work so much harder in future to make that money so that that time will be not available for us for Kaikariam. So these two aspects, one is working in a limited manner, not getting bogged down by pressure, peer pressure, family pressure. People will be saying that you have to go and work, this is the age for you to work, make more money, become a lakpati, crorepati and so on. But whatever wealth we will have to get, we will get. As per our karma, we will get. So we have to do justice to whatever work we are doing and limit our work, focus on well-being of Atma, focus on the well-being of the family in a spiritual way. So this is one side. And then plan for retirement, early retirement in a systematic way. Don't spend too much money. Save the money as much as possible I'm not saying we should be a miser and not spend money for kaikariam and so on, but do it in a limit. Have a limit for everything. And this will only help us come out of this rat race as early as possible.
Sure. Subsequent to this question,
Yeah.
third question comes like how part, like where we can take Devari's example in setting as an example, like waking up right from the beginning of the day, doing Anushtanam, doing Sandhya Vandanam, doing Tiruvaradhanam. So all these things. So how can a Gruhastha cultivate this sincerity in doing these kainkariams? So like which principle can we accommodate to have this going in a smooth way with utmost sincerity?
See, the main principle we have to understand is this is how our Purvacharyas lived. And by this way of life, they lived a very healthy life, very peaceful life. They were very, very systematic, and they were never lethargic. They were not lazy. And all of these are because of their lifestyle. So, again, even this aspect of our lifestyle where we wake up very early in the morning, like 4:30, 4 o'clock, and try to do a little bit of Guru Parampara Dhyanam, meditation, and little bit of remembering about uh, Purvacharya Charitrams or incidents and shlokams on Bhagavan and so on. There are standard set of shlokas which we have to recite when we wake up and so on. So when we do these kind of things, it kind of rejuvenates us every morning. When we wake up, we don't feel that we have to go to bed. So when we feel that as soon as we wake up, we want to go to bed, that means something is wrong in our system. So our system, our body system should be such that naturally we should go to bed by maximum 10, 10:30. And then maximum we should wake up by 4 to 4:30. If we have this routine set up properly, then we will have a reasonably healthy metabolism. Body routine will be there. And early morning, if we wake up and do all of these meditation and thinking about our Purvacharyas and Bhagavan and so on, and then whatever little things we can do early in the morning. Some people have the habit of um, reciting pasarams early in the morning, recite 100 pasarams a day. Some people, if they are learning Santai, early morning they will learn Santai because that is the time when mind is fresh. So we can grasp more. So they can learn Santai during that time. Some people like to listen to some Kalakshepams early in the morning. So depending on one's own interest, the early morning up to 6 o'clock can be reserved for that. And around 6 o'clock, just before 6 o'clock, we can take bath and then we can do our morning rituals like Sandhya Vandanam and so on. After that, depending on our routine, whether we have to go to Kaikariam or whether we have to go to office, if we have to finish our Tiruvaradhanam, before 8:30, 9 o'clock, then we can do it. Because according to our Kaikariam, if a person goes to Sannidhi Kaikariam, they have to be, like in my case, I have to be at the Sannidhi around 8:30 or so. So before that, I finished Tiruvaradhanam because once we go out, we don't know whether we will touch someone, even inside the temple. So after that, if we come back and do Tiruvaradhanam, we have to take bath again and so on. So we finish our Tiruvaradhanam at home when we are clean, when we have done our Anushtanams and so on. So we can complete our Tiruvaradhanam. So if we do that, then the rest of the day, we have for our own Kaikariams and our own activities and so on. And then during the day also, we have to allocate accordingly that we do a little bit of Kaikariam, do a little bit of Swadhyayam, that learning something about our Sampradayam in a systematic way. See, many times people learn things here and there. They listen to upanyasam, they read books, they just listen to bits and pieces. But that kind of learning doesn't help too much. It gives nice anubhavam. But strong learning happens by systematic learning. We have to study Purvacharya Granthams in proper sequence with Kalakshepam, with the Grantham, and so on in a proper way. So, if we did that, then that will take some portion of our time. And then in the evening again, if we go to temple, we go to temple. Otherwise, at home we can recite some pasarams or Vishnu Sahasranamam or whatever is possible for us, some stotrams, and then have prasadam in the evening, and then try to go to sleep early. So this kind of routine will definitely help. And even materialistic people, they are turning into yoga, and they are uh, using these habits such as waking up early and getting all the things done quick in the morning, and then take even a short nap, freshen up quickly, and then again continue their work. And they go to bed early, around 9 o'clock or so. So this kind of practice is catching up. These are very proven methodologies in our sampradayam, in our dharma in general. So these are catching up in other places, Western countries also. There are many entrepreneurs, business people, politicians. They claim often that we have this early morning routine in our lifestyle. And again, having prasadam also should be only as much as necessary. We should not be overeating, always munching on snacks and even meals. According to our Dharma Shastram, we hear that one time eating habit is that of a yogi, two-time eating habit is that of a bogi, and three times eating habit is that of a rogi. So only a diseased person, only a person who is having some kind of um, shortcoming in the body will eat three times or more. It only talks about three times. A bogi, an enjoyer, will eat two times a day, and then a yogi will eat one time a day. We should not starve. I'm not saying that we should starve, but we should have reasonably uh, contained meal habits, food habits. So, and also satvika food offered to Perumal. Without offering to Perumal, we should not consume anything. So, if we practice these habits, there is a lot of positive and satvika uh, vibration and environment around us.
The next question would be, Swami, so in the current modern days, so we have a lot of peer pressure in the families, as well as in the outside environment as well. So in this environment, how can we make sure that we nurture our children in more Sri Vaishnava Sampradayic way, like making them aware of Divya Prabandham, making them aware of Purvacharyas. So how can we ensure that they follow this path without any breakage, understanding
Right.
Tirumantrardham, everything completely.
Right. See, the education for children starts from almost birth time. Even before birth time, the pregnant woman should constantly be listening to Bhagavad Vishayam, Guru Parampara, and Pasurams, and so on, so that the learnings reach up to the child in the womb. And subsequently, when the child is born, we have to start teaching the child about our Guru Parampara, about Divi Deshams, about Alvas, and different aspects of our Sampradaya. Not like very in depth, but start from the basics. Even from the age of like 1 year, 1.5 years, and so on. Even from childhood, we can sing bhajans and we can sing pasurams and We can always make the child sleep with proper Sri Vaishnava lullabies and so on. And then subsequently, as the child can relate more to words and all that, we have to teach the names of Alvars, names of Perumal, Tayar, Divideshams, and so on. And we nowadays have certain games like flashcards and so on, based on Sampradayam also, which can be used to educate children, to engage children in a playful way. Initial 3 to 4 years, we are going to be totally engaged with the children. External influence will be very, very minimum, except for the close family like grandmother, grandparents, close uncles and aunts. As long as we ensure that our family satsangam, our family is in a good satsangam, then we don't need to worry about such peer pressure. We can be satisfied, we can be confident that they will only get satvishayam right from childhood. It is only when they start going out after 5 years, 6 years, when they start going to school, they are engaging more time outside than with us. So at that time, it becomes very crucial and critical that we spend whatever time with children we are spending, that time should be very, very high quality time. We should fully focus discussing Satvishayam only in front of children. We should present only a Satvika environment for them. Even though they may get influenced from outside, we should fight from inside. Try to defeat those concepts which they are getting from outside by constantly giving them good instructions, good suggestions, good environment. So by doing all of that, we can try to at least minimize the impact. And of course, when they grow up, like 12 years, 13 years, they are going to start questioning a lot. And we should be prepared to answer the questions. We should not hesitate to spend time in explaining them about our sampradayam, about even some of the questions may be silly, some of the questions may be very intelligent. Irrespective of their questions, the nature of their questions, we should patiently explain to them. And doing that will be a good education for us because we will get to know about our sampradayam in a deeper way. So by doing all of this, we can try to bring the children into a good mold. And as much as possible, we should try to educate the children with sampradayam knowledge. If possible, we can avoid school. But if that is not possible, we should work very, very hard to make them learn the most vital, important principles of our sampradayam and make them understand that whatever they learn in school is only for a career purpose, not for life lessons or not for our sampradayam way of living. So we have to make sure that they understand the difference. Because if we plant that concept to children, then they will start fighting misinformation, misleading data and so on their own. We don't need to even tell them. After 15 years, 16 years old, when they become 15, 16 years old, they will be able to handle those things on their own to some extent.
Thank you for enlightening us on your sharing your experiences on this.
Okay, so thank you. I think we covered most of the important questions about gruhasthASrama. We'll definitely have another session like that, like this, and we'll discuss few more aspects about Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya.
ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download KOYIL, KOYIL app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, KOYIL.org.